of all, massive well done to everybody turning up. As I say, midweek. What are we? Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday, isn't it? I'm losing track of time out here. But midweek and giving up your evenings to jump on. Listen, that's it. Sorry, I've got my Dubai alerts going off because it's meant to be raining tomorrow. Put my phone on silent. It is going to be raining in Dubai. If anyone's sitting there going raining in Dubai, yeah, it will be raining. But yeah, no, as I say, massive well done to anybody sacrificing that midweek, right? Many people on a Wednesday are down the pub. Many people on a Wednesday are do-dallying and they're doing things that don't benefit them. You guys are part of that 1% club. Yeah. So massive well done to you guys. As Jack said, obviously, my name's Harley. I'm the CEO and founder of a successful personal shopping business. I'm also an online coach and mentor, teaching aspiring resellers and personal shoppers exactly how they can also come into the space. Now, Jack's obviously invited me on to give away a few free gems. Now, I'm all for giving away free gems. I think there's a lot of people in the space that want to come into personal shopping, but maybe don't know where to start, or maybe you don't have any clue about how personal shopping works, because I speak to people now, including friends and family, and they don't get how I make money. They don't get how certain items that I sell are under retail. They don't get how I'm able to do this as a full-time position. Selling trainers, you're mad. How can you do that as a full-time job? So I'll give you a little bit of background into me before I sort of structure out what we're going to give away on today's Zoom, right? So I kickstarted my reselling journey now at the age of 15. So I'm 24. I look about 30, but that's London for you. I'm 24 and I kickstarted when I was 15, but I didn't resell when I was 15 because many people turn around like, what, you was making that kind of money at 15? No. So how it all started, and I'll put it into short form, is a family friend of mine was a sneaker reseller at the time. And he approached me and said, look, bro, can you queue outside store with me? I'm going to give you £10 to do it, but I'm also going to give you the money for the shoes. I never really got my head around how or why he would get me to do this, but I'm like, what, £10 to stand outside store? 100%. Of course I'll do it. So each weekend I'd go and see him. I'll stand outside store. He would give me £10 for queuing up. And he'd also give me the money for the shoes. I'd go buy the shoes, give him the shoes, and I'll go on with my day. Now that started to progress over time. And as I got older and as I did it more, I started to understand what was going on here. I started to understand, okay, cool. He's only allowed one pair, but he wants two pairs. He's going to flip them for a heavy premium. And that's how he's going to maximize his margin. When I got to around 17, right, I now started to see money because I was making money selling sweets in school. I was doing this on the weekend. It went from £10 to £20. Now I've got my pot. And I never had my pot before. So I could never go and buy the shoes and copy his business model. But the minute I was able to collate my capital, I then just copied what he was doing. So I remember the first pair of shoes I bought were a pair of Harley Screen Greens. Cost me £95. And I resold them for £220. And I was like, okay, cool. There's a lot of money in this space. Yeah, I can literally queue up, buy a pair of shoes, and triple my money. So what I've done is I copied his strategy. I now started to target people in my school, my friends that didn't have money, but would queue outside store for £10, and I'm going to give them the money for the shoes. So what he done to me is what I done to my network. And I just progressively went through the scale of doing that and flipping one or two pairs. And then it went from 2 pairs to 5 pairs. And then it was like getting 30 pairs a drop. And then that all drastically changed. And if anybody's a fan of like Yeezy or Jordan 4, Jordan 1, if anyone's a fan of Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, you now know in order to get a pair, it's raffle only. You can't queue outside no more. You can't do the business model no more. So I then see another gap in the market, and you gradually learn over the call. I'm very entrepreneurial. I'm diving into where I know I can make money. Because what I started to identify was the people I was selling trainers to were wearing a Miri, Dior, Balmain, Givenchy, Prada. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not going to be able to sell the shoes no more because I can't get them. But I've got a huge client base here that also love higher tier brands. I need to find suppliers, which takes me on to what I'm going to teach you today. Finding the suppliers was the hardest, and I'm going to swear. Are we allowed to swear? Yeah, it's not Big Brother. And it's the hardest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. Rule adults.
Finding a supplier is impossible. You can't go onto Google and type in luxury designer supplier. Well, you can, but you need £30,000. Yeah, you can't just go and find a B2B supplier that's going to give you the stock at the prices you want and make money. Reselling isn't that easy, which will take me on to exactly why I kickstarted the Trends Blueprint, right? Now, what I was able to identify is I thought, okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to find a supplier, and I have found some, but they want 30K. I don't have 30K. So I am now going to look at other avenues into how can I get this stock or make any money on this stock, or at least look like I've got it. Yeah. And it's exactly what we teach on the blueprint. It's about the fake it until you make it strategy. How can I portray to those clients that already trust me because they've bought sneakers from me, that I can now facilitate their high-end luxury buying wants? Brands like, at the time, D Squared, Palm Angels, Valentino, Stone Island, CP Company. They were the brands that I was seeing day in, day out. And they were the brands that, from my market research, keep listening to the trigger words, market research. And this is what's allowed me to now sit on shy of £1 million of a stock. That's right. My Dubai office is probably around 450k pounds of owned stock. How did I get there? It's everything I've done over the last couple of years of the market research, the drop shipping, the fake it until you make it strategy, the identifying, I don't need suppliers, I need X, Y, and Z. And we'll identify the X, Y, and Z as we go through the call. So I was now able to identify, okay, cool. I know what my current client base want. I've done my market research. I've reached out to these people and I've said, look, if I can get brands such as Stone Island, CP Company, Valentino, Prada at the right price, would you be interested? Yes. Because right now, ultimately, I'm fucked. I can't get the shoes anymore. They're raffle only. I'm sitting up on a Saturday morning with an iPad, a phone, and a laptop, and I'm not winning nothing. Do I give up or do I transition? And I'll be honest with you, I gave up. I did. I went for a really hard time. I went through really falling out of love with the space. I was like, you know what? I've had my time. It's a side hustle. It was fun then. It's not fun anymore. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. I'm laying in bed. I'm looking at a screen that says unselected, unselected, unselected. And then this group of really techie, intelligent nerds have come into the space and they're botting 30, 50, 60, 70 pairs at a time. I don't know how to do it. No one's showing me or teaching me. I need to get into the high-end space or I'm not going to be in the space at all. So I did take a little gap, but in between that gap, I was always gravitating back, which brought me onto a strategy that I now want to tell you guys to do. I found myself in retail stores, right? And I always loved the deal. Retail isn't a deal. If the shoes are £860 in Dior and you're finding them at £860, you're not going to make no fucking money. Why would somebody give you £860 if they're £860 in a retailer? I've always thought as a buyer, it's the biggest life hack in life. If you think as your client and as a buyer, what would you want from you? People want to save money. People want cheaper than retail. People want to turn around and go, no, you paid $860, I paid $800. So what I would do is I would dip in and around retail stores because I always had a passion for fashion when I started to see some money. And I would look at what is on sale. What is on the sale route? What is reduced? Why is it reduced? Can I make a flip? So what I would do is every time I was out in like flannel, Selfridges, Mr. Porter, Net-a-Porter, I would start to take images of the sale items and I would see if I could flip them. I never had an Instagram at this point. Even for the sneaker stuff, right? I never had an Instagram because it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing to sell on Instagram. Instagram was a weird thing coming up. Like no one really sold on Instagram. It was eBay, Depop, and Facebook. Not Facebook Marketplace, but literally just Facebook and word of mouth. BlackBerry. Put it on your BlackBerry status. Huarache for sale, Jordan's for sale. Someone's going to buy them. So I never had an Instagram at this point. I just had a WhatsApp contact list that even now, I would like to say my WhatsApp is easily worth over £1 million. WhatsApp broadcast is the best way to sell to anyone. So what I would do is I would go into flannels and I would look at what Palm Angels is on sale. So it might say £270, now £180. I'm now going to put that out to all of my clients and go, now available, £200. Now I'm only making £20 margin, but every time I've done this, I made a sale. Yes, bro, I'll buy it. Yes, bro, I'll have it. Yes, bro, I'll take it. Now, because these clients already trust me, they're paying me already. So I found a strategy, right? I was spending no fucking money. I was going into these stores, pumping out this content, being paid, and then using that money to buy the items. And I was doing that again and again and again and again. So making it a little bit relevant to you guys, because I keep talking about my client base that I've already got. What you want to do now, if you are serious about getting into the reselling space, is you want to sit there after this call, or even now, and you want to think about, okay, cool. Who in my circle and who in my network would buy and does buy designer clothes? Who in my network, right, has money? Who do I know in my family that loves designer? They're the people that we are going to harass. Yeah, we're going to harass them with this strategy. Hey, mate, I thought I'd just let you know, I've got a few Palm Angels t-shirts in. They're $289 online, but I've got them available for $180. Just some number examples, right? No, mate, I'm not interested. Does that mean they're not going to buy? No, it just means they're not interested. You're going to do the same again next week. Hey, mate, I've just had some D Squared come in. £350 online, but I've got them available at $300. Every time you do this, even if you're not making a sale, you're planting the seed. So I am now that guy. Yeah. Because one day that person that said no is going to go out on the weekend and want a pair of jeans. They're not going to think about flannels. They're going to think about Joe Blogs that messaged them the other day saying he's got 20, 30% off D squared. And again, you've really got to play the consistency game. This strategy here is like going to the gym. No, we don't want to train legs, but you've got to do it. Yeah. You aren't going to get a six pack in 5 days. You've got to keep going again and again and again. Same applies to business. You aren't going to set up and do this strategy tomorrow and sell tomorrow. No, you might be doing it for 6 weeks and then get a sale. But after you get that first sale, you're now going to find the love for this strategy. And you are going to find yourself in retail stores more than you find yourself at home. Honestly, my missus, and this is a funny story, actually thought I was cheating on her because she used to find me. I used to go down West End and be there for 5 hours, but come back with 2 or 3 items. And she would never get her head around, why was you down there so long? Because I would just sit in Selfridges, Mr. Porter, Net-a-Porter, darting out loads of images, waiting for a deal to come in, finding what I could flip. Then that progressively began allowing me to buy stock. Now, what took me on to buying stock, right? And again, I'm not talking about finding suppliers because no one's got a life hack to finding suppliers unless you've got cash. Yeah, there's no loophole around it. No supplier is going to pay you the time of day unless you're waving money in their face. So to play the game is play the strategy, the fake it until you make it strategy. Pretend that all of that inventory is yours. Yes, it's in stock. Send me a deposit and I'll get it sorted for you. Or 9 times out of 10, they fire you.
196.
Yeah.
Two.
I love that. Someone's on the bus just absorbing gems. What an absolute legend. Legend. Don't miss your stop. So as I say, I'm not showing you an ultimate supplier here, but what I'm showing you is a strategy that many people shy away from. And you know, the funny thing, right, is all of these items are online on sale. Nobody looks. This is why personal shopping is so demanded right now. It's leg free. Imagine you as a buyer having somebody send you D squared, Moncler, Canada Goose, under market price, direct to your WhatsApp, and you're a buyer and a fashion lover. It's an absolute dream. Like, my clients hate me because they can't stop spending, especially here in Dubai. I send a £23,000 Birkin into a broadcast. Someone's like, oh shit, here we go again. And they buy it because it's like, they haven't got to go to Hermes. They haven't got to go out their way to buy it. This is why personal shopping is proven again and again to be one of the most successful business models. So for anyone starting out that doesn't want to buy a course or doesn't have money to put into stock, please go and test this strategy. Identify who in my network is a spender. Who do I know that shows wealth? Who wears a nice watch? Who drives a nice car? Who wears designer clothes? Then go and test out this strategy. Hey, mate, I'm starting to get a few designer pieces in below RRP. I thought I'd show you as I know you're into fashion. They're going to say no, but we're going to do it again next week. And they're going to say no until someone's actually going to nibble because you're going to send them something they want. And now we're going to come a domino effect. Now it becomes word of mouth. Hey, mate, Ryan from down the road has been sending me some bits. His broadcast is fairly good. Why don't you get on it? Hey, mate, can you add me? Every day I get a message from someone random. Hey, bro, Jamie in the pub said about your broadcast. I met this guy at a beach club. He mentioned your broadcast. That broadcast all stemmed and was born from me going into store and flipping sale items. And the funny thing is, despite having a 7-figure turnover business, I still always get drawn back into that strategy. Yeah. Every time I go to Vista Village, if anybody knows it, or I go to Ashford Outlet, I always find myself taking pictures, putting it in the broadcast, going for a wander. I find myself back at the store because I've sold it. This strategy works. Yeah. And it costs you absolutely nothing. Implement the strategy, implement the market research, and implement the consistency. Yeah. Doing that is going to allow you to now get onto how do I generate that first client? I spoke about market research and I spoke about consistency. Them 2 things there is the only way you're going to generate a client. Yeah. Too many people say, I've got the life hack to how you're going to generate a client. No. If you're consistent and you do your market research, being consistent to that market research will always pay dividends, meaning it will always pay off. Because if you've done your market research and you know who's relevant and you know who your big spenders are and the people that you're targeting are relevant, be consistent. Yeah. I always pull back my my recruitment days. So I used to do recruitment and I did it for 5 years. And that was the phase in which I fell out of love for the space. I thought to be successful, right, that you had to work in the city, wear a suit, and tell people you've done sales. the Wolf of Wall Street kind of approach, right? And I thought I was that guy. Yeah, I looked like I made thousands, but I didn't. Yeah. And then when I did about 2 or 3 months in recruitment, yep, I did like it, believe it or not. It was a 9 to 5 I enjoyed because it was like make money, commission, drive, Wolf of Wall Street, like fucking like sales, right? But then I was like, this is toxic. I don't like anybody here. I don't want to talk to anybody here. The company used to speak about if you make this much, we'll take you on holiday. And you know what I actually said to my directors? I don't actually want to go on holiday with anyone. I'd rather you just give me more money. Because I was in that space of like, everybody here looks unhappy. Everybody here just is caring about going for a beer on a Thursday. I want to make some serious money and I don't actually enjoy here what I do. I liked it, but I didn't like it. I liked it because I was like 17, 18 and I was a bit sort of in denial, right? I'm wearing a suit. I'm thinking I'm the guy and I was making very good money. But I always got drew back to doing what I actually loved. But back onto where I was going with generating a client, they taught me about a follow-up process and how to be consistent with that follow-up process. And I don't know the saying, and Jack, you might not know the saying. It's like how many no's you get before you get a yes. There's a little phrase that I don't know what it is, but it was like that follow-up process is so key. And it's funny because my biggest clients in recruitment were the ones early on that said, fuck off, mate. Don't want to use you, mate. Don't use recruitment agencies, mate. And as same as applying it makes me chuckle sometimes because I get clients on now that when I first tried to approach them 6 months ago, 12 months ago, don't use personal shoppers, mate. Think you're all a ripoff. Think you're all idiots. Don't want to ever use you. Why did I generate him? I knew he was relevant because I could see nice watch, nice clothes, always looked very drippy. He's either going to store, will I get a discount? Or he's using a personal shopper. I am one. So I'm going to bully him. And how did I bully him? I kept consistent with what I had. I knew what he liked because I could see by his style. So I just gently planted the seed every 2 weeks or a week. Hey, bro, this has just come in. No, mate, not interested. Let them block you. And I'm being dead serious. Let them block you if they want to block you. But they will always absorb this because we know that they're relevant. We know they like this stuff, right? It's like giving a fat kid cake. You know he loves cake. You're going to keep on giving it to him. Yeah, people are going to tell him not to have it, but he's always going to go and eat the cake. So if you find someone that loves designer clothes, designer buying and shopping is like a drug. People are addicted to it. They're going to say no and no and no, and then they're going to nibble. So in generating that first client, you need to be consistent and you need to do market research. Because look, finding a client in our space is so easy. And I say it to everybody. All you've got to do is walk down your local high street and find someone wearing designer. That's a client. Because they either go to the store or they're using a personal shopper. There's no other way, or it's fake. If it's fake, okay, cool. Not going to be relevant to us. But 9 times out of 10, they've either gone into store and paid full whack or they're using a reseller. Yeah? Out here in Dubai, it's the easiest place to network. Because if I see somebody in a nice car, a nice watch or clothes, I'm on them straight away. Hey, bro, thought I'd come over and introduce myself. I'm a personal shopper. Listen, I can see that you're relevant. Nice car, nice watch. Maybe you're tied in with a reseller already. 9 times out of 10, they are. Because nowadays, rich people or people with wealth put their time into making money, not walking around a shopping center or walking around a mall buying products. So if they can meet someone like me or us that can go to their house and deliver, send it direct to their WhatsApp, go and pick up these items for them, of course they're going to use us. And it becomes obsessive for them. I've got a client out here in Dubai at the minute who spends $50,000 a week. Yeah. He knows what I'm charging him because it's really, really weird. He sends me the links from the website and goes, bro, I do not care what you charge me. What I like is you come to my house. What I like is I'm too busy to go to the mall. And what I like is that you are respectful, which tells me how lucrative personal shopping is. It's recession proof. Yeah. Not many side hustles are recession proof. How many side hustles went wrong in lockdown and how many side hustles went right in lockdown? Right? How many businesses were affected? In lockdown, I made so much fucking money. Like what have it been? When was lockdown? 2019? 2019?
Yeah, 2020.
2019, 2020. I was 19, 20. No word of a lie. I think I was making anywhere between 10 to 15,000 pound a week. Sitting in my bedroom while faking it on my recruitment job, pretending I was doing loads of work. I had this really cool strategy. I had this thing, right, that it would keep pressing my space bar on my laptop because the way that they identified if I was online is that my screen was on. And what I would also do is I would just call a family member in the house that was at home and I would let the phone run for like 60, 70 minutes and they'll go, "Oh, Harley, your call time's up." No, it weren't. I was in the back burner being consistent and sending out loads of items and drop shipping from sale. Everything went on sale, right? Flannels went on sale, Selfridges. So my strategy that I put in place now become an absolute money printer because everything was on sale. Yeah, and I was just sending it to people and sending it to people. And I had discount codes to a point. I had done so much business with Flannels, and now I have a contract in place with them that we dart out to our members to where we now get 20% off of everything. So that strategy that I come up with is now a lifetime strategy to where even full priced items that are not in sale are in sale for me and my members. And we're doing a strategy again and again and again and again. And it made me a lot of money and it works. So as I say, when kickstarting, and this is only brief, I'm not saying that you're going to put this strategy into place and you're going to be a seven-figure reseller, right? Because there's loads more that does come to it. Reselling isn't easy, but it's fun. I've been in the space now, yeah, for 9 years, and never a day feels like work. What's the time now? It's currently 9:30, and I feel like my day's only just getting started. I go to bed at about 1 or 2 a.m. here in Dubai because of time difference, and I don't sit there and go, "Oh," like I did in recruitment. I used to hate that noise. "Oh, again. Oh, here we go. Oh, another one. Oh, a client wants to call me at 9 p.m. No, I'm not answering it." I actually get upset when the day comes to an end because I feel like people are now going to bed, so there's going to be no one to do deals with, and time's coming to an end, so there's going to be no more money to make. And I get excited to wake up in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 and people think I'm an absolute maniac. It's not, because I want to wake up and I want to get going again. And there's no better feeling than loving what you do. And when you love what you do, you will organically find yourself putting 150% into it without any effort. And it will just come. And it will, like, many people here may not have any clue about reselling, or may not even enjoy it, or may not even want to do it, but you're just here because you want to know a little bit more. But for me, it was like, I love designer clothes, could never afford it. I found a job where I didn't have to use any of my own money, but I used other people's. Then I got to a point where I could afford it. And now I've got a showroom, and well, I've got my own store in Dubai that's just opened, and I've got our office in London. We've got a showroom. No one actually knows this. We've got a showroom under construction in Qatar. We're growing, and we're growing massively. And that goes out to everybody that said to me, "Bro, you're never going to make money selling trainers. Bro, you should never leave your recruitment job. Bro, you're going to buy and sell clothes and shoes. Like, you can't compete with Flannels. You can't compete with Selfridges." I'm making a lot of fucking money. And I've done that independently. I don't even have a website. I won't even go into the numbers, right? I don't even have a website. Everything I've done manually. I haven't even touched the ecom world. It's nuts and it's scary. But that there is just a few minor fundamentals or minor tips and tricks and gems that I think if you put into place and test phase it, you will see wins. And of course, I'm not trying to plug my course because it doesn't need to be sold, in all honesty. And we really steer away from selling the course now. People bombard us in wanting to join. Is those core fundamentals now will really allow you to identify, are you equipped for reselling? Can you play the consistency game? Can you put the strategy into place and do your market research and put this stock in front of the right people? If you start to see quick wins from what we've discussed here now, you're going to be that guy. And that is where you could then take that step up and turn around and go, "You know what, Harley? I'm making a little bit of money here, but I don't know my next move." It's why I created the blueprint. The blueprint is that next move. Don't stress about finding suppliers. We've got them ready. Don't stress about generating content. I'm going to maximize your fake it until you make it strategy. Don't worry about knowing when is your next deal and how do you generate clients, because we've built the UK's first ever online portal for aspiring resellers to where we will teach you how to generate clients, to where we will teach you how to get deals over the line. And many people always say to me, Harley, is, "But how do I know this works?" Stupidest question to ask a CEO. And I get asked, someone approached me the other day and goes, "Bro, does your course even work?" Of course, I'm going to say, yes, it does. But the biggest thing I say is, I'm no one special, right? I'm no Bill Gates. I'm no Richard Branson. But at the age of 24, I've been able to not only relocate to Dubai, but I've been able to open my own showroom in the space of 4 months. I moved to Dubai on the 5th of January. It's now 5 months. Well, I'm going to say 4, it's only the 1st of May. In 4 months, I've opened my first ever store. I won't go into the numbers, but the numbers are ridiculous, right? I can't say that's a 7-figure turnover business yet because Dubai dirhams are very, very different. So I'd be cheating the system if I said it was a 7-figure turnover business. In Dubai, it's a 7-figure turnover business because we do over 1 million dirhams easy per month. But it generates insane numbers, and we haven't even touched the surface. Like, we're working at 60% on that project right now because I've got so much more to give, and I'm still trying to adjust to UK and Dubai time. So does it work? I'm living and breathing and walking in it every single day, and I'm as much as a student as every single person that comes in.
Yeah, I think that's like some of the points you made are like absolutely incredible, to be honest. Like the consistency one, and like we've known each other now for sort of 12 to 18 months, and like just like from the outside looking in, and I'm definitely not. Look, I'm wearing Under Armour. I've got like a tracksuit on. Like I'm not like a big designer person. I just never gonna be, right? But like I could always see myself, and I actually pinged you at Christmas about getting my partner UGG slippers because they were sold out. I know you were the guy that could get it. There's always going to be a time where somebody wants something where it's sold out everywhere else, but they know somebody that can get it. And I think just in terms of your point, in terms of like, does it work? I mean, like the whole point of us vetting you as a mentor was like, yeah, you're fantastic. Like you're living and breathing it every single day. Whereas, yeah, a lot of people that do fake it until they make it, but also sort of take people down the wrong road. And I think literally over the past like 12 months that we've known each other, your growth has been absolutely tremendous. Like from when we done that podcast, I think it was April last year or March last year, whenever it was. Like I was looking through the photos of your showroom, like the amount of stock that you've got. Like I think people
Mate, it's
probably
crazy.
skip past that a little bit. Like to have that stock on the shelves, you actually have to buy that first. So it just shows you the amount of, you know, opportunity, let's say. I don't want to sort of just say money, but like the opportunity in the space is that you've managed to start from your, because I think you were relocating into a new office in London at the time, and you've now gone, you're in Ibiza, I think, in this time. I think I see
Exactly.
something on Facebook about Paris. I think you've just gone to Dubai and you're now opening up in Qatar. Like the growth from you has been incredible, right?
Mate, and do you know what it is? It's funny because I think when I spoke to, did we do the podcast last year?
Yeah, I think it was March, April 2023. Yeah, so it was about a year ago.
Yeah, crazy, mate. And even then, it was like business was taking off, but wasn't. And it's like what you said, mate. Like I do sit there and I sat there today and I looked at some of the stock. I'm like, how the fuck have I built this, right? And
Yeah.
it's still a surreal moment for me because this all started in my mum's bedroom. Do you know what I mean? This was never a business for me. This was a hobby. Like I used to enjoy waking up at 5 a.m., getting a McDonald's breakfast and going to buy a pair of shoes. Then I used to enjoy making flips. And like it was never like I wanted to be an accountant. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did British gas apprenticeship. I thought I was going to be a gas engineer.
You're
Like
the
so
least accountant I've ever met in my life. I could see you in recruitment, but not as an accountant.
Mate, I don't know. Do you know what it was? I always felt like I was always sucked into you have to work a 9 to 5. What nine to
Yeah.
five makes money? I speak to people, meeting accountants, they're on 50K a year. Oh my God, 50K, that's such a lot of money. Now I don't think 50K is a lot of money because you don't actually get 50K. You get like 28K or 30K because the UK system
Tax,
just
yeah.
absolutely ruins you. Um, I couldn't be an accountant because I didn't get my grades in maths. I'm good at making money, but I'm just not good at all the numbers in front of me. And then I went into sales and I loved sales. I made a lot of money in recruitment. Don't get me wrong. But even then, like in recruitment, I was making more money from reselling than I was in recruitment. Bear in mind, I was making a lot of money in recruitment, but I just told myself, like, I listen to people too much. That's one bit of advice. Don't fucking listen to people. Like, I remember people saying, bro, you ain't going to be able to sell enough trainers to come out of a job that's paying you £5,000, £6,000 a month. And I did sit there and do the maths and go, it's a lot of fucking trainers I've got to sell, man. Like, why should I do that when I can just turn up every day and get a wage and play it safe? I don't play safe. The biggest risk in life is taking no risk at all. Me taking that risk has allowed me to get me to where I am today. And again, I sit here and I go like, man, I live in Dubai. Man, I've just moved out. Like even that, like I still lived at home. Man, I've just bought my own apartment. I'm now bought into to a property investment. And I sit there and go like, this is all because of reselling. It's funny. It's all because that first pair of Harachis that I bought for £95 and flipped for 240 have got me to where I am now. And I'm still learning. I'm not an expert. Yeah, and I said it to people. I'm not an expert. I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I'm still learning, but everything I learn, I pump into the blueprint from an educational aspect and I pump into my businesses. And I would like to say that I'm a market leader in the sense of the UK. And I'm making a lot of noise in Dubai. And someone, my mentor, just before we jumped on this, I was chatting to him and he was like, bro, like, you can claim you probably are the first person to relocate from Dubai who's from East London and open a showroom like you have. And I was like, I can. I probably can. I'll take that medal. And I will scream and shout about it a little bit later down the line. I'm very humble in that sense. And he's very like, be arrogant, bro. Like, you are the man. I'm like, bro, I get it. But like, I'm like everybody else. Like, I've come from absolutely nothing. I'm not saying I'm in something now and I'm rich or anything like that. I'm not. But I'm on a journey of like, it is possible. This started in my mum's room with one pair of shoes. I had no money. I couldn't get into the space. And as you said there, Jack, now I'm in an office with probably about £500,000 of stock, bags that are the same as some properties in and around the UK. You've got bags that are like 150k pounds. I've got shoes that are 25k pounds. Like, and I've actually got clients that will buy these. Like, who the fuck buys 25k,
And I,
25,000
I,
shoes?
I, I think one of the craziest things for me, and maybe it's maybe some next steps for you in terms of how you're going to grow your business even further, right? Is I can't believe you don't sell on a website. I remember like speaking about this, like when we first spoke, was that all of your stuff's through Instagram and WhatsApp, and like from the outside looking in, that just seems like not even something I'd considered for this type of business model, right? And I think like especially with a TikTok shop now, because I saw I think it's Lux Collective who obviously went on
Yeah, they're
direct to
killing it.
their
They're killing it, bro. And do you know what it is? I'm annoying myself now thinking about it, and I've always gone down the route of I need to get a website. But bro, I'll be honest with you, we're doing our Dubai businesses. So let's say for example, right? And I spoke to a friend of mine owns Lions Prep, the meal prep company, George
yeah.
Taylor, and bro, he's like, we're now going, we're working very close with him to go down the e-com side. And he was like, mate, the numbers you're doing now are fucking insane. And really, you don't need to change anything. But imagine you go e-com and really push and you enter the e-com
Yeah.
world. There's a trillion other clients out there that probably don't use you because you're only operating DMs. And I know what he's saying is right, but it's like I get so stuck into things, and then it's like, but I'm frustrating myself now because I know I need to get a website. I've got a web developer making a website. Um, but let's say, for example, without a website at the minute, we're generating this. Like at the minute, bro, we generate profit wise in Dubai anywhere from 45 to 50k a month. That's done with
Crazy.
that's done without a website. That's done like me and my business partner being super ADHD, running around like headless chickens. We will come into the e-com space, and maybe a story in 5 years' time is we come into it late, but now look at us. Because my aim goal now is to be buyable. Yeah, and obviously we can't be buyable right now because we don't have an e-com sort of presence, but we will, and that will come over time.
Yeah,
But
I mean, in 12 months' time, we're going to get you back on to do another webinar, and we want to hear about
100%.
how you've smashed the ecom game and TikTok shop.
Mate, 100%. And like I say, our TikTok does numbers, so we should be on TikTok shop and things
Mm.
like this. But that will come over time and we're adjusted. But I'm still learning. That's what I mean. I'm still every day is a learning curve. Every day is a lesson. And we'll adapt. We'll grow. 100%. Sorry, but I don't know if you've muted. Can you hear me still? Can you hear me, bro? I don't know. It's gone mute. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, perfect. So I don't know what's that. I don't know if Jack's gonna. Oh, there
I've
you
had an
go.
absolute mare there, and my headset has died.
Oh, no way. At
So
least in my
I
laptop.
there you go. I'm going to turn the camera off on this one and speak through my phone. But had an absolute mare there. So, but look, thank you, Harley, so much for coming on. I think that was like extremely valuable, and we have recorded the session as well. So for everyone that wants to watch it back, they can. And obviously, if you've got any questions, please, guys, either unmute yourself or drop the question in the chat, and we'll get Harley to answer them. So just open the floor up for anyone that wants to have a question around whether it's personal shopping or somehow to stay consistent. I guess, Harley, a question for me is how did you manage it alongside a 9 to 5? I think for most people with a side hustle, that's always the first thing that comes to mind is how can you manage that business alongside a 9 to 5?
Well, listen, everybody's got the same 24 hours, right? It's about if it means waking up earlier, wake up earlier. If it means go to bed later, go to bed earlier, go to bed later. There's a lot of crap we consume. There's a lot of shit things that we do. Yeah. So if you're sitting there after work and you're procrastinating on TikTok and you're watching things you don't need to watch, then stop watching it and look at how can I scale a business. Yeah. If it's you're waking up late and the minute you get up, you brush your teeth, you have a shit. I think this is quite toxic, right? And I used to do this and I hated it. I think waking up, getting ready for work and going straight to work is very, very toxic because you wake up and straight away you're in an environment you don't like. So if it means go to the gym, right? And while you're in the gym, you're doing like, so what I used to wake up in the morning, go to the gym. While I was in the gym, I'd like be cropping images from like flannels, Mr. Porter, Net Porter. Then I'd go to a coffee shop near work and then I'll start to prep my stories for the day and then I'll go into the office. Of course, you are going to hit little brick walls on I'm trying to do the side hustle and trying to do the 9 to 5, and one of them becoming a little bit too obsessive. So like some weeks my 9 to 5 would just completely take over. It would drain me. I'd be in the office late, but that's recruitment. And then some weeks I'd be very drummed into my side hustle because I made a lot of money, and then I get in trouble in my 9 to 5 because I'm on my phone all the time. There's ways around it. Cheat the system.
100%. I think if you can work from home as well, like it's like you've got
Bro,
tremendous.
nowadays it's so easier, man. It's so
Yeah,
easy. A lot of people work from home. Not only that, a lot of businesses run from phones. A lot of people are on Zoom all the time. Like there's no, I don't know any. Listen, if I can do recruitment and scale my business the way I've scaled it now, anybody can, because recruitment is so obsessive. Like I used to work on the weekends in recruitment. My phone, I used to have a work phone, and you had to answer the work phone. And when you didn't, I would get calls on a Saturday and Sunday from my manager, like, mate, you've had 3 calls. Why haven't you picked up?
yeah.
And I'm like deep in 6 pints in the pub with the boys. And they can see that, and he's got the cheek to call me on the weekend, but because it was so sort of
Normal in that environment, right? And I mean,
exactly,
you're in
yeah.
something that you're not passionate about, and you're obviously quite clearly very passionate about what you've built. And I love how you know how people get started. So we've had a couple of people asking questions. So,
Yeah, I can
what
see.
designer item is your biggest profit seller? So I guess like if we were going to say over like the period of time that you've been selling, I think there's maybe two parts to that question. What would be the biggest profit that you've ever made on a product, and what was it? And what would you say has been your most consistent seller over those years? Because I know I think I see it on stories. You talk about some Dior B something. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
some trainers. But like, what would you say for those 2 points would be?
Biggest profit items at the minute, or for us here, well, in Dubai, I would say is Hermes, definitely on bags. We can make anywhere from 3,000 to £5,000 per bag that we sell. The most highest profit item that
What
I've,
would you say is the product that you've sold the most of in your whole time?
I'd say Dior. I think Dior, we do. I keep looking to the side. I've got Matt who runs our London office. He's flown over to Dubai to help out. Dior, I think definitely. I've sold a lot of, but then I look at that now and I think maybe even Hermes, like Hermes now, we've absolutely fucking that we've killed that space. I think in February we done 150 pairs of trainers. Um,
Jesus.
if you want my honest opinion, I've lost track. But I know we sell a lot of Dior. We sell a lot of Hermes. I would say Dior. I would say Dior. Dior is
Yeah,
what sort of got me to where I am.
that was your bread and
Hermes,
butter for ages, right? Yeah, and you're
yeah, Hermes
scaling
is
now.
now what
So
I'm transitioning into.
So the next one is, now that you've moved across to Dubai, does location matter and have a big influence on clientele and sales?
I would say massively. And me and I'll touch on it with Jack. Changing your environment is key. Me moving to Dubai was probably the best thing I've ever done, because Dubai is very pretentious and I sell pretentious items. Every day something's happening. There's a beach club 5 minute radius from me. There's a beach club 5 minute radius from that beach club. Everybody wants to look nice. Everybody in Dubai, not everybody, but 95% of Dubai show a heavy sense of wealth. It is very, I know I haven't got sucked into this, but I've learned it over the last 4 months. It's very competitive here in Dubai. Who's got the nicest bag, nicest watch, nicest clothes? It is perfect for me because I plug in that service to, well, I can help you compete with everybody else. I can get you the exclusive bag, the exclusive trainers. People even compete on spend. I've got these two lads that shop with me, and it's like one lad comes in on a Monday. He's like, "How much did Jack spend on a week?" I'm like, 30K. He's like, "Sweet, mate. Well, I'm going to spend 35K." You don't get that in the UK. Moving across to Dubai has adjusted my caliber of client and my margin and also my mindset. I'm a lot more driven. I'm fetching the higher margins. I'm networking a lot more. The UK for me is very glass ceilinged. The higher margins, the networking can be very hard in the UK for my game. You got to be wary who you speak to and how you approach people from this, because everyone's a little bit like, why does he want to know if I buy designer clothes? Why does he want to know if I like watches? Why does he want to know if I use personal shop? Everyone's a little bit like, why are you being nosy? In Dubai, everybody's nosy and it's a normal thing. So it's been very not easy to transition, but easier than I had ever thought. I've been here 4 months and I feel like this is now home, and it feels like home, and and this is
Yeah,
I've
I
loved
think on that, like, obviously, like even just from the outside looking in, like Dubai is very materialistic, like in
it.
terms of
It's
society, and it makes sense how you've managed to take it from one level to the next. But I think like the original question is right around, does location matter? It surely doesn't matter that much, right? I mean, you've managed to get to Dubai from building your business in London, so it's clearly possible to get to a point where you're earning, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 grand from London, right? It's not capped, right? It's just Dubai's able to take you to that next level.
Yeah, not at all. I think the nicest thing, right, about this is you can scale it from your phone. So it can be done anywhere in the world. Like social media is the driver of this, right? Like I went to Tulum for a stag for 4 days. I'm 10 hours behind everything, super jet lag. I was still making money from my phone.
Yeah.
Obviously because I've got an established business, but if I sat in Tulum for life and I implemented the strategy that I told you, the fake it until you make it strategy, finding pieces online, showcasing it effectively, it's why I created the blueprint, because there's only so much you can do on your own without getting the support of like what I've offered. Like we generate content for our members, meaning you could be in. So and this is how you know it works. I've got lads in Belgium, right? That's scaling from us and making a lot of money, but they don't hold any stock. I've got lads in Dubai. I've got a lad in Qatar. I've got people in Amsterdam. I've got people in Ireland, Scotland. None of these people have stock, right? But they've got a phone and they've got a social media presence, and we plug in the content strategy and we show them how to scale, and they're doing that from every single place in the world. So I think location makes not much difference, but then to take it to the next level, you need to get out in the mix. You need to get on the battlefield. So let's say, for example, Isle of Sheppey, just for an example, right? Really, really small island, barely anybody over there. Is there going to be someone head to toe in Dior? I don't know. Yeah, you're going to be able to smash the online space because it doesn't matter where you're based. But then when it means taking it to the next level and getting there and networking, is the Isle of Sheppey going to have that many people where you can network and get into those that are wealthy and going to spend loads of money on Dior and
You
design?
got to travel to Knightsbridge. I mean, I remember seeing like you were out interviewing people in Knightsbridge or
You have to.
Chelsea, wherever it is, where because you need to be where the high net worth people is if you want to get footfall, right? And I think you're
Exactly.
probably in the best place in the world for your business at this point. Maybe that changes in the future, whatever. But fantastic. Okay, next question. What places are the best to flip clothes or shoes? So I think maybe he's referring to maybe WhatsApp and social media, or also maybe the brands that you might see, and where maybe the best place is, maybe it's flannels, or so you've got already stock lines coming in, right? So maybe it's difficult to answer, but like, what would you say is the best place to flip clothes or shoes?
Easy. Best place if we're talking to actually physically sell is do not sell on eBay. Don't sell on StockX. Don't sell on Depop. Bullshit. Don't work, right? Use social media. Nowadays, there is every service you can think of on social media. And guess what? Instagram costs nothing. TikTok costs nothing. Snapchat costs absolutely nothing. People buy pictures. People buy videos. It's not the same anymore. People don't care about eBay and Depop anymore. So you could literally post up. I've got these 2 kids in Dubai. They keep coming into my office and taking pictures, and no word of a lie, they're selling every single day. And they've listened to what I said. I said, listen, don't go and set up a website. Don't go and sell on eBay and Depop. Come in, take pictures, put it on your Snapchat, your Instagram, your TikTok, and see the response you get. Hey, bro, how much? Hey, bro, can you get this? Hey, bro, can you get that? Like social media is such a driver. So the best places to try and sell are Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, right? In regards to like retail stores that you can drop ship from, Flannels is amazing because it offers next day delivery up to 9 p.m. And find like outlet stores. Like there may be an outlet store near you that you're not aware of. Flannels is really good because they do quite heavy sales. It's hard to pin down where is the best to drop ship from, because it's anywhere that's got a sale on or you think is cheaper than other retailers is the best place. Bicester Village is an amazing place to go. I've always found myself making money there. Nike outlets, if you're thinking about doing the activewear stuff, the outlets, obviously where they're cheaper. Not many people know about the Nike, the outlet. So go in there and get anywhere where you can get an item under retail is going to work, because your upsell is we are cheaper than the retailer is the best way to put it.
Okay. How did you manage to get across the big city? How did you get your business visa? I think maybe that's more towards how did you get moved to Dubai?
So it's funny because I have only been to Dubai twice prior to doing any business, but a lot of my clients lived out here. So I always found myself shipping. I came to Dubai in February with my missus last year. So this has happened so fast. No, it's not a charger. This happened so fast, and I started to network with people. And when I told people what I did, they're like, no way, bro. Let me take your number, bro. This is amazing. There's no one over here doing it. Long story short, there's loads of people doing it, but not like we are. Getting my visa, like, listen, Dubai is the easiest place in the world. Like, I had a crash this morning, believe it or not. The Porsche crashed into me, right? I never crashed it. Maybe I crashed into the Porsche. I don't know. I don't actually know. But everything is simple here, bro. I did a police report, yeah, and then Whitehead's over there. I did a police report, and literally within seconds, the car rental company's like, "No worry, bro. Let us know where you are. We'll bring you another car." Like, it's very quick. Like, we needed batteries earlier. We went onto an Insta shop. We clicked buy batteries. The batteries were delivered in 5 minutes. Getting your visa, bro, is the easiest thing ever. Like, it's a 2 day
They
process.
want people. They want people out there, right?
Bro, you do everything is so sufficient and easy. You trying to get a passport in the UK takes about 6 months. Then they tell you you've signed it wrong. Then they tell you that you're missing a date. Then they tell you got no signature. Dubai is literally the easiest place to get anything done. There's something for everything.
Okay. Last two questions, and then we'll let you go because I appreciate it's getting up to 10 o'clock, and you've already got some clients to deal with. Will you have a store in London or the UK ever?
I would never have a store in London. My vision, what I've created in Dubai was my vision in London to have a walk-in store, appointment store. London's not safe anymore. I don't
Yeah, you're
think it's safe
getting
to have something like
get what
that.
you mean, yeah.
So I think the office that we've got at the minute is for operational purposes only, and we only really work with people that we know. And of course, that's why we're trying to now build the e-com side for UK.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be our main driver, why we can focus on the footfall and the customers in Dubai.
Okay. Somebody's asking, do you do one-on-one meetings? I can partially answer yes, he does. You can book on Mentor Me. We can send you the link. Or obviously, if you're looking to get started, I mean, the Trends Blueprint, right, is perfect, right, Harley? If you want to give a quick 30 seconds on what's included in that.
Yeah, perfect. So obviously the Trends Blueprint, it's my personal Instagram, which is Harley J Trend. It did used to be called the Trends Blueprint, but I got to a point where no one's buying the blueprint, they're buying into me and how I help scale. So why call it a business?
Personal brand is so much more important.
Yeah, when it's me. And the Trends Blueprint ultimately is the all-in-one educational business platform that will teach anybody, whether you're in the space or not, how to take it to the next level. So if somebody here is a reseller, but you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, you feel like the 200 to 500 pound a month isn't too satisfying, then I will show you and teach you exactly how you can get to the 4 to 5 figures per month. I'm not sitting here saying it's a money guarantee because it isn't. You need to put some legwork in, and the game isn't easy. But what I am going to do is I'm going to mentor you and guide you and show you and teach you and allow you to literally shadow me, shall we say. Look at me as a business partner. Look at the statistics of the blueprint. Over 200 plus students. 18 of those are full-time 9 to 5 leavers. Youngest person on the course is 15, doing anywhere from £2,000 to £3,000 a month. Find me a 15-year-old doing £2,500 to £3,000 a month. That is someone that come into the space with no experience, but is hardworking, driven, and doesn't want to work a 9 to 5. So, as Jack said there, if you are keen on one-to-ones, it's something new that we've got with Mentor Me, where we will do one-to-ones. Or if you're very risk it all, and I say risk, there's no risk, but no risk, no reward, right? If you're very like, you know what, bro, I want to get started, I want to go now, how do I do it? Then, of course, reach out on my Instagram, Harley J Trend. Click the link in our bio. Our website's www.trendsblueprint.com. Find out a little bit more about what we do. Like, don't feel pressured into doing it. Again, as I say, we're not very like, hey, join our course. Hey, come and sign up, because we don't need to. It's like, I'm telling you it makes money. I'm showing you it makes money. If you want to make some fucking money, let's make money. If you don't, then don't.
I think what's amazing as well that I've not seen, and maybe it's the business model, but like when you look at, so I've personally done Amazon and drop shipping and things, but like when you go through mentoring, they don't give you the products to sell. Whereas like what you're doing, you're literally, you are somewhat putting it on a plate because you are giving people access to the stock
exactly
through the Trends Blueprint, right?
Yeah, and my slogan I say to a lot of our students, I will plate it for you, but I will not cut it and feed you it. So what I mean by that is I will put food on the table, right? But it's down to you to consume that, yeah, and really benefit from it. I'm going to generate content for you. I'm going to show you and teach you how to scale. I'm going to make the introductions. I'm going to give you access to my community. Yes, I'm going to guide you through it, but you need to want it as much as I want you to succeed. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say money doesn't motivate me. I'm not doing it for the money. Whoever says that is talking a lot of bullshit. Of course, I do it for the money as well, because it's a business. I need to make money. But the buzz that I get when I hear a 15-year-old's just gone and made £300 from one deal is phenomenal. When I hear that Callum Wilson, who's 23, has come out of a plumbing job that he absolutely hated and now is working full time and he's now going through the personal brand stage, I love it. I look at someone like Jaden, who's 26, working for the NHS, who never wanted to show his face because he was scared about the sort of the roadman mentality and what the people on the streets were going to think of him. And now shows his face on TikTok and absolutely loves it, to where people actually approach him in the street now and go, bro, you're that TikTok guy. I fucking love it. So yeah, I get a buzz from the money, but I get such a great buzz from hearing the success stories. And I'm not going to sit and go, yeah, that's because I helped you. It's no, like, I know where you was and where you are now, and I played a part in that journey, and that gives me the thrill of it. So as I
Yeah,
say,
I think it's like incredible, and I think look, a mentor doesn't guarantee anyone anything, but it gives them
oh,
the
I
best
hate that C
possible
word. I hate it.
opportunity to achieve something, right? Because a mentor is going to show you the way that you need to go, but it comes down to them having the consistency. And if you're just not that person, entrepreneurship and a side hustle just in general probably isn't for you. And I think the whole point of this community is that we're bringing together those people that want to break out. And I think like, you've given some perfect answers. We've actually two more questions coming in, if you don't mind answering them very quickly. We're keeping to very short answers. Have you ever had any bank problems such as freezing your money and so on?
Well, look, let's just say that I can't bank with NatWest, can't bank with HSBC, can't bank with TSB, and can't bank with Monzo. And that was because from the age of like 18, bro, I was running up serious numbers into accounts, not ever thinking it was a business. I weren't money laundering.
Yeah,
Never ever saw it as a business. And like they would always ask me, you running a business? I'm like, no, like it's a hobby. People play football. I flip trainers, I buy trainers and I sell them. It's not a business. And then it was funny because a bank manager at NatWest actually become a blueprint member. Really, really, really funny. He's like, bro, like this was before I even created the blueprint. I think he paid me like £300 and I showed him where and how to buy the shoe. It's mad because he was like, bro, like you're 18 and you have this much in your account. How? And I showed him. He's like, no way. And he's like, okay, I get it now. What, like, can I invest? And I'm like, no, well, give me £300, bro, and I'll show you how you can find the drops. And I did.
yeah.
And this guy was like, I don't know what he's up to now. I don't know. I haven't spoke to him. But yeah, bro, that will happen. I always suggest, look, very early on, I'm not a financial advisor, neither am I an accountant. I can't tell you how to do things in that sense. But the odds say in your personal bank isn't a problem because you're trying to find your feet. If you're doing multiple sales per day, then that becomes a business. Go down the right way because eventually you want to go and get a mortgage and you want to be that entrepreneur and CEO on paper. Do it the right way. Some guy didn't do very early on, and it
Yeah,
hasn't been.
I think it's so easy now to set up a business account. I think I would always suggest people have multiple business accounts anyway. I don't know what it's like for you in Dubai with banking, but for me personally, with Mentame as well as my Amazon business, I've got like two or three limited company accounts for each one of those, whether it's Revolut, Monzo, or Lloyd's or whoever. Just don't put it all in one account, otherwise you are somewhat opening yourself up to risk.
Yeah,
Last
exactly.
question is Dior B30s. Is that your best Dior seller?
It is, bro. Yeah, the B30s we sell like hotcakes. We're cheaper than retail. One thing that is good about personal shopping in my network is Dior never do a sale, but we're cheaper. So it doesn't really need much selling. It's 860 on the website. With us, it's £730, £750. You're saving over £100 plus. Use us or don't use us. 9 times
You
out of
pay
10,
the extra money if you want, and you get better service anyway if you come through you.
mate,
So
like I say, I've shopped globally. I hate going into Hermes. I hate going into Dior. I hate going to LV. They try and sell you things you don't want. They're rude and they take forever. So I've put everything that I don't like from a retailer, and with us, we're accommodating. Do you want a coffee, sir? Do you want to sit down and have a drink? Chill, relax, don't stress. You want to buy one pair, buy one pair. You don't want to buy anything today? That's cool. Come back tomorrow. Like it's cool. Like, and that's the kind of approach that we've got. But yeah,
it's a
the OB,
service, right? It's not just a transaction. That's the whole point of personal shopping.
yeah,
It's
we are.
it's a
I say it to
service.
everybody. Yeah, we are a lifestyle. We are a service. It's not come in, spend, and fuck off. It's come in, look at what we do, understand how I work, and if you ever need me, I'm here to assist.
Well, Harley, look, I can't thank you enough for being the first person on doing one of these webinars. It's been absolutely incredible having you
No,
here. I
thank
think
you, mate. I've really looked
that
forward. I've really been looking forward to it, my man.
there's been a lot of value on here, and I think like the amount of questions that we've had, and I think you might even have some customers in here. Somebody's asking, "Do you sell B22s?"
I do,
Um,
mate. Yep, I do. They
so
have
get
been discontinued.
get in touch. Message Harley on Instagram if you've got any questions. Whoever was asking around, one to ones, please feel free to message Harley or myself. We can send you the link for
Yeah,
Me, and you can get the book booked in. If you're not in the school community, please go ahead, jump in the school community. This will also be uploaded into the free school community that we've set up. And obviously, every single week we're bringing mentors on, like Harley, covering a bunch of different industry. So once again, Harley, thank you so much for coming
no,
on.
thank
Is
you
there
so
anything
much.
you want to say to wrap up?
Yeah, as I said at the start, look, guys, big pat on the back, man. You're part of the 1% club. Yeah, you guys have shown up. It is well, we're just approaching 7 p.m. We've had a nice little hour there, power hour. And as I say, if anybody does book a one-to-one, that'd be amazing. It'd be good to catch up with you guys and get a bit of feedback on how you found the call. But most importantly, let's start developing, right? We're not average. If you was average, you wouldn't be on this call. So what you want to do is if you are interested in personal shopping and reselling, what are you doing to try and identify, are you the right fit for it? Are you doing your market research? Have you got a network